Hello.
Hello.
Sweet.
We're
We are
actually
back.
doing a mid-month like
Yeah, we are.
check-in.
I'm proud of us. It's great.
I'm proud of us.
Uh,
Everything's been crazy. But I finished editing Warrior, so I'm like, my time is freed.
Ooh,
And I've been promoting
fun.
Hunter X Hunter, so I haven't been writing anything for the
Oh,
last
yeah.
month. But yeah, I am waiting on my proof copy of Warrior to come in
Sweet.
and to do my cover reveal, and I'm so excited. This is
Fun,
really
fun.
good.
Fun, fun.
It's so good. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
that's been chaotic.
Oh,
How
yeah.
have you
But
been?
I've been good. I have been plugging along through um, Throne of Glass, and then I've been reading Bridgerton on the side. And I took honestly, I was for a bit. I was took a kind of a little bit of a break from Bridgerton at the
Mhm.
beginning because of that whole discussion that we had. There's a scene towards the end of the book that I feel was not okay, and I wasn't really happy with how the author, like the comment that the only comment I could find that the author made about it, and
Yeah, she didn't really
just
apologize for it
just
or
to keep
anything.
this friendly for everybody, I'm not going to go into detail in it, but I'm sure if you look up, like, yeah, if you look up the Duke
Bridgerton's
and
the
I,
one,
like the
no,
Duke and
yeah,
I, like adult scene at the end, like the, yeah, um, essentially he was drunk, couldn't give consent. You get the idea.
it was a pretty bad situation from what I understand.
I was
Oh,
not happy. It kind of ruined the whole book because the book would have been at least a like. Honestly, I know I have my rating at a 4, but I'm honestly probably leaning more towards a 3 the more that I've let the book settle.
mm-hmm.
And so I
For
would
that,
say
my
it would have
glasses.
been, you know, it would have been a 4 or a 5 if that hadn't have happened, because after that it just kind of like the whole book felt tainted. Like I just couldn't enjoy the book anymore because
Yeah, which is totally understandable.
I was anticipating them at least addressing it, and they never addressed it, and I'm just like, oh, that's great, you know, just love
Yeah.
that. Note the sarcasm for those people that don't know me. But yeah,
For the
and so
ones who
like,
don't know,
well, I took a little bit of a break and I read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, and I've been doing a lot of like audiobook listening just because the spring is really busy anyway. And like I'll read and I'll keep the hard copy with me and I'll follow along, or I'll read, you know, sections when I can't listen to the audiobook or whatever. I've been doing a lot of audiobook listening. I think purely because I just wasn't in the mood to I really wasn't in the mood to start Throne of Glass first. I was kind of hoping to start Akatar first, but I was following the schedule thing that I found, which is fine. Like I enjoy Throne of Glass. I'm going to love it anyway. And I love the new perspective that I'm getting, like the new insight I'm getting on the characters. Like Kaol never fully trusted her. So like I honestly his reaction when she comes back is completely expected. At least now, like again, I know what's coming ahead of time, but if I would, there's certain things like his mistrust of her, and then there was times when it talks about headaches a lot. In hindsight, I know that the headaches now are associated with the rings that were used to control them. Like you remember, like the rings and the collars and stuff, and like the princes or
yeah,
whatever. Like the headaches are associated with them and their control, starting their corruption over people, like slowly happening behind the scenes. And it's like I didn't catch that the first time I read it, and I'm just like, huh, because you had um, the girl from book one that struggled with headaches for a majority of the book and was actually taking drugs to try to help with the headaches. And then in book two, you had his cousin show up, and then his cousin started to struggle with headaches, and both of them end up getting corrupted with like the collars later on. And I'm just like, I never noticed this. And then you have some of the
mm-hmm.
guards and the
But
some of the soldiers are even complaining that they were constantly complaining of like getting headaches and stuff. And I'm like, hmm, it's
mhm.
interesting. And I'm just like, I never caught that
Yeah,
before. So it's interesting. So I am enjoying it. I've been reading Bridgerton on the side because I don't want to get into like a rut, you know. So I'm like reading stuff that
get that.
I kind of want to, like I'm interested, not that I'm not interested in Throne of Glass, but like new stuff too, to keep my brain kind of stimulated and ready to read.
Yeah, rereads are always difficult like that, where it's like you want to read, but you like want to read new stuff too, but like, you know, so I totally get that.
And I kind of like, I'm anticipating the bad stuff that's happening, and I don't want to like, I get so like emotional, like emotionally invested in books that I'm kind of like hesitant to get into like the like the emotional parts that I know are coming,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like, genuinely, I don't know. All right,
That's
what's
funny.
your books? What have you been reading?
Okay, yeah, I've actually read. I'm out of my reading slump, and it's primarily due to Water Rising by H.A. Pruitt. So this is the fourth book in her Anathalion series. Fire Blazing is her new one, and it's coming out, I think, next week. So I think I'm going to be on my writer's retreat when it comes out, but I'm still going to promote it, buy it, and all the so yeah, this was a very spiritual book, and she has like over 100 pages of bonus content. And get this, in the bonus content, she talks about all of the lessons and like the God, like the themes and stuff that come together. And that made me cry. And there was something, I can't remember what it was I was going through, but I read it on the, like, I had this Bible study that matched, and then I read her bonus content that talked about that exact passage, and it lined up, and God used it to speak to me. And I started bawling my eyes out, and this is the bonus content, not even the book itself. Like, it's just so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I've just like really enjoyed it, and it got me into the kind of YA like thing, because they're all teenagers in this. So this is like a YA portal fantasy. And so then I supported a Kickstarter for an author YouTuber called Bethany Adazada. She's huge. She did $19,000 from this Kickstarter. And I know she's a good writer, so I supported it because I was following along to learn Kickstarter more and her new technique. And she had this trope graphic that popped up because she writes no spice. So I was like, okay, I'm already in. But then the trope graphic said he loses his wings. And I'm like, sign me up. I'll do it. Give it to me. That's my thing. Valiant series. So there's a situation in the Valiant series where it's very similar. I'll just say that.
There's a situation in Crescent City along those same vibes. So
I'm a sucker for a guy losing his wings. Mine, I have a book that parallels with the story of Samson, but instead of his hair, it's his wings.
My Crescent City girlies know, if you know, you know. She hasn't read it yet, so but yeah, like you mentioned that you were like a sucker for like losing wings, and I'm like, okay. Never mind.
I need to clarify. It doesn't do it for me if it's a woman, but yeah.
No, it's definitely a guy. So, like, it's definitely a guy.
Why are you making me swoon? I'm not a psychopath, I promise.
It's okay.
I
would love you
need
anyway.
to read now. No, okay. So, Liar in the Hollow Court by Bethany Adazada. So let me see if I can get this cover.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Look at this gorgeous thing. Yeah, so she did cover options. And so I got the version that I have the art, the character art.
Ooh, I love that.
And yeah, so it's inspired by ACOTAR, but it's no spice, and it's like ACOTAR meets Friends, meets Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, and so it's no spice, and it's kind of like a cozy fantasy. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot of like stakes or whatever, since it's a cozier fantasy. And it also kind of has like the TV show Friends, where they all have friends. Haven't seen the TV show. So that's kind of like the vibe. And one thing I will say that I loved, and I was so excited to talk to you about this, because it's a fae romantasy, and I did not realize until reading this book that all the fae romantasies that have come out lately have gotten so tropey that I forgot how much books used to pull from original myths and lore for races, and now they don't. Like, they all follow the tropes instead of the original myths and lore, and she pulls a lot of like fae, seelie, and unseelie like myths and lore inspiration into her book. And it makes me miss that creativity. And so the world is super creative. There's a lot of different types of fae races in here that make it in. Some she's created, some feel like familiar. It's just super creative. And and then the main guy has Rhysand vibes, but it's a lot more like cold. Like, it's not as intense as Rhysand, and it doesn't have any spice in it. So you still have that kind of vibe. And it's just like really good, really cozy. And the situations that the main girl finds herself in, like were still intense enough for me for being a cozy fantasy that I was like, oh crap, she's in a whole lot of trouble right now. And the one thing that I do love about the main character, I think her name is Bryn, Bryn, or yeah, I get her mixed up with Bryce now all the time. But she doesn't put a whole lot of things together very quickly, and she makes kind of mistakes. And I hadn't realized how much the trope bothered me, where the main girl does everything perfectly, gets everything right, understands everything, and like puts like everything is like perfect, and she figures everything out perfectly. And like this one, I was like, why doesn't she get this, or why doesn't she know this? But I'm like, she is a realistic and more relatable character because she's like from Earth. It's kind of like a portal fantasy, and so she like doesn't put a whole lot together, and she's horrible at lying, and she's in this situation that's like a fish out of water kind of situation, and it's a lot more relatable because she doesn't figure things out perfectly. Like, if that makes sense.
Like,
so she'll just like a really
she'll do things because she has good intentions, but then those things aren't actually a good thing. Don't, like, bad things end up happening because of those good things, kind of.
Well, but she, like, there's this, like, she's deceived on a couple of character personalities, and I'm like, why doesn't she know that this guy is a douche, or why doesn't she know that this guy is the real good dude? And I'm like, well, in our defense as teenagers, did we ever figure that out either for ourselves? Like, no,
fair.
I didn't exactly like my husband when I first met him either, so and she's 18, but she has a sense of maturity, and like all that she does to get her family back is so cool. And one thing that I love about the romance, and like it's hard to find a good non-spicy romance that has the level of intensity that I like, that gets gritty. Like that's why I turn to a lot of spicy romances, because they get grittier and like more intense with like the stuff going on. But in this one, it still does that, but they form this deep emotional connection. And like when I'm writing, I always ask myself, what does he see in her and what does she see in him? And a lot of times in books, you can't answer that question because they don't see anything in each other but the plot or the lust. And in this one, it's like, this is why he falls in love with her, and we can see that even though it's from her perspective, and we can see why she falls in love with him. And their character arcs both help to make each other better as characters. And that's what true love and romance is supposed to be. And so it's just really refreshing and everything. So I really enjoyed Liar in the Hollow Court. And I was so excited because I just finished reading this last night. And when you had texted me to do a check-in, I was like, I got to finish this tonight. So I was so excited.
Oh, sweet.
So that's Liar in the Hollow Court by Bethany Adazada. It's coming out later this summer, so it's in pre-order. And she's giving a pre-order, like, digital reading gift thing to everybody. She has like not really a basket because it's digital, but it's like a digital gift basket to anybody who pre-orders the book.
Fun.
Right.
That's awesome.
And then I just recently started Project Hail Mary by Andy Ware, and I wanted to read you the opening page because this is the best opening I've read in a book. Period. The best opening, at least in my opinion. It has hooked me line and sinker. Nothing has ever hooked me faster than this one. Okay, and like I'm instantly into it, and it's so good. Okay, what's 2 + 2? Something about the question irritates me. I'm tired. I drift back to sleep. A few minutes pass, then I hear it again. What's 2 + 2? The soft feminine voice lacks emotion, and the pronunciation is identical to the previous time she said it. It's a computer. A computer is hassling me. I'm even more irritated now. I say. I'm surprised. I meant to say leave me alone. A completely reasonable response in my opinion, but I failed to speak. Incorrect, says the computer. What's 2 + 2? Time for an experiment. I try to say hello. Fools, I say. Incorrect. What's 2 + 2? What's going on? I want to find out, but I don't have much to work with. I can't see. I can't hear anything other than the computer. I can't even feel. No, that's not true. I feel something. I'm lying down. I'm on something soft. A bed. I think my eyes are closed. That's not so bad. All I have to do is open them. I try, but nothing happens. Why can't I open my eyes? Open. And open. Open, dang it. Ooh, I felt a wiggle that time. My eyelids moved. I felt it. Creep up and blinding light sears my retinas. Ooh, I say. I keep my eyes open with sheer force of will. Everything is white with shades of pain.
I like that.
But I'm just like, what an opening, because you have to keep reading to find out what the heck is going on here.
Makes me curious as to the opening. I can't remember the opening for The Martian. Let me I was
kind of curious about that too, honestly.
Let me go to Amazon and look up the Martian ebook and see if it'll give me like a beginning first page.
Probably find a sample of it on it. I imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna see here. Read sample. Okay.
I'm gonna pull it up too.
Okay.
I have it in there, but I can't get out here.
It's back behind me, so if I wasn't lazy, I could get up and get it. Okay. Says. It says I'm pretty much effed. That's my considered opinion. Effed. 6 days into what should be the greatest month of my life, and it's turned into a nightmare. I don't even know who will read this. I guess somebody will find it eventually, maybe 100 years from now. For the record, I didn't die on Sol 6. Certainly the rest of the crew thought I did, and I couldn't blame them. Maybe there'll be a day of a national mourning for me, and my Wikipedia page will say Mark Watney is the only human being to have died on Mars. And that'll be right, probably, because I'll surely die here, just not on Sol 6 when everyone thinks I did. Let's see, where did I begin? The Ares... so it's like the quirkiness, it must just be his writing style, because, like, yeah.
Start a book. I'm just like, now I'm into the science stuff, so I'm like,
yeah,
come again.
Honestly, that was one of my concerns for when I first read The Martian, but I was very pleasantly surprised to see that it wasn't nearly as like crazy, like, you know, intense as what I was afraid it would be, and it was actually like a really good book. And it was one of those things that it was longer in the sense that time went by slower in the book, or it felt slower in the book, but it wasn't like dragging on. Like it made the movie feel really rushed.
I don't spoil anything, but like the time he does all this stuff to figure one thing out, and it's like tons and tons of time to figure out one tiny thing that sounds simple, but it's really not, because and also the science is like, I'm not a science person, but it seems like it's realistic, so he seems like Andy Weir knows what he's talking about. And in this case we have like amnesia. I don't know how long the amnesia is going to last, but I really love the whole, I have no idea who I am or where I am or what's going on, and we're kind of piecing this mystery together. And it's like, it's keeping me so hooked. I like binge read it last night, so cool. So I'm reading quite a bit. I may or may not try to go back to City of Ashes as well, because these two being YA kind of made me like, okay, I can give in and read about teenagers. And the thing about like Mortal Instruments is it's going to have a lot higher stakes than Liar in the Hollow Court. I'm like, if I enjoyed this with kind of lower stakes, then I can definitely get back into the Mortal Instruments.
And I think it's also just about how you frame your mind going into the book. Like, I think when you were going into the first book, you were going in from your, like, how your middle school self saw the book, and the hype that you felt when you were a child, when you read it. And so it's like, if you come in from, like, I am reading about children, like, I'm not reading about people my own age anymore, like, you know what I'm saying? I think that, honestly, that would help, like, adjust your thinking, and I don't think you'll have any issues. But I think it's all about, like, I'm going into this book understanding that this is, you know, these are going to be children. And you've talked about that before, about how it's kind of like you have to remind yourself, like, these are teenagers. Like, that's totally reasonable for them to, you know.
Yeah, some of the, like, in this series, they will have discussions about what to do next. And I'm like, y'all, like, it's sometimes teenagers, like, I think it was in, it might have been City of Bones as well, where it was like, but you again, understanding the whole teenager mindset, so. Oh, that's too, one real quick thing. She focuses on not caring what people think. Like, that's a huge theme in this book. And there were several things that I really related to about that, like, because I used to be that kind of person. I stay home and I don't interact with society, so I have no problems with that anymore, only because I'm very isolated. But when I was in high school and around people, that was a problem. So
that makes sense.
Also, before we get to our main stories today, because I know we've got a lot, I did a book haul, and I'm so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am that I ordered
Ooh,
Dances with Wolves.
sweet.
And it's Michael Blake, and it's got both books in there, so it's a little thicker. So they're about like half.
Yeah.
I read this when I was in high school, and for those of you who don't know, you know this probably, but I grew up with the movie Dances with Wolves. Like as in my earliest memories are watching the movie, like the VHS to this movie. I loved Dances with Wolves. It sparked my entire how into Native Americans I was, and researching that on top of like our family history. And so I grew up with the movie, and I read the book in high school because I was curious what the differences were, and I loved the book, and I still love the movie. And I'm like, I want to read it as an adult with my writer's brain now because I'm so excited. So, yeah. Also, my bookmark is a buffalo, and it's like advice from advice. And so I'm like, I need it. I was like, I looked everywhere because I was like, I need this bookmark to go with this book. So I'm tempted to read it, but I'm like, I gotta stick with one book at a time. Yeah. So I just wanted to call that.
No, that makes sense. Okay. So do we want to do like author announcements first?
We can do that.
Okay. So do you want to do your author announcement, or do you want me to do?
Yeah, we'll get this done and over with. All right.
Because I think we both have one of them's the same for both of us. I was like, I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk about it if you want.
Mine's maddening, so I'll get mine done and over with, and then we can get happy again. Okay. So, long story short, Draft to Digital is a self-publishing site like KDP, and it's used to publish everywhere else. Like I like KDP for Amazon, and then I use it for my ebooks everywhere else. Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Apple Books, all the things. Well, so I found out that they're going to increase the price from where it used to be free, but now if you don't earn $100 in a year for all of your books on there, you're going to have to pay $12 in fees, $12 in fees if you don't earn $100 or whatever. And so I was like, I earned $24 from them last year, so that's like half of what I earned.
Yeah.
And it was like, and so the reason why is because there's been a rise in book scammers and AI slop being on the platform, and they used to be able to to pinpoint them really easily, because if you have one author posting 100 books in a month, that's going to be a clear indicator of their AI slop. But they started to where the scammers, I may sneeze here in a second.
Bless you.
Excuse me. I was like, I can feel it coming. I felt it coming. So the scammers then started to avoid their new ways of like tracking them down, is they would create one account and put one scam book on one account, and then they'd create another account and one book, because then they look like indie authors. And so to crack down on this, that's why now if you don't earn $100, you're gonna be charged $12, which is $1 a month as like subscription cost. And then new accounts have to pay $20 to set up your account. And so the bad thing about it is that, to me, if a scammer is already kind of established, then they're going to be earning more than that. Yeah. And so it's not really going to help. And then I just recently found out, because I think you and I talked about this privately, but I then found out the next day that Barnes & Noble is now setting a limit of 100 books. So if you publish, you can't publish more than 100 books on Barnes & Noble.
Really?
And I'm like, eventually I'm going to have that many. Like, I want to. I've got almost half that, in my life. I've probably got over that in my lifetime if I counted some of my younger self books.
Yeah.
And so but I'm like, then the scammers are just going to do 99. Like, what are you, like, what?
Yeah.
So,
and that's where it's like, if they were wanting some kind of like, I don't know, like ID, like even like requesting some form of identification is not going to do much. Like, they can give their identification, but then still use AI to write everything, or maybe develop a program that detects AI, and they have to pass this, you have to submit your work to this program to check for AI use, and like if it has any kind of AI detection, then then you can't publish it. I don't know, but like I feel like just charging people money or just putting a limit's not really going to help the situation at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like the indie author, like, we're being punished for not earning as much as everybody else. And I did a video about this on my main YouTube channel, but essentially it's like, oh, okay, I have to pay for editing, for cover design. I have to pay for my audio, like my website. and my domain name. So that's two separate subscriptions. Most of us have a newsletter list and like a newsletter platform that hosts that list. You have some people run ads, some people run a shop. So you have like a Shopify kind of thing going on. So with all these subscriptions now on top of that, we have to order proof copies, and now we have to pay because we're not earning as much money. When that can't come out of your own pocket. If you have a job or a husband, like, it has to come out of your business expenses. So your business has to pay for that, which is your book sales, unless you're editing or doing something else. So like, how the heck am I supposed to afford that? Like the average indie author, when I didn't even earn $1 every single month. Like some of it was like 87 cents, 84 cents or something like that sometimes. Like, so
yeah,
it's kind of like
just feels very out of touch.
Yeah, it's like, you remember, like, it feels like the whole class is getting punished for the actions of a few stupid rowdy students.
Yeah.
Is how I feel. It's like, I don't want to skip recess just because Billy over there is acting up and pulling somebody else's hair. Like, don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't know really. Honestly, I wonder what the true solution is with that. I think
it's hard to say, and it's like the people who are creating this stuff, it's their fault. But the witch hunt on the other side of it too is affecting me just as much.
Yeah.
And so it's like I hate all of it. You know, like, it's just
like AI just needs to quit funding and quit building these data centers to support AI, and just let it get shut down. Like,
or put a limit to how much you can generate, because then you can't generate a whole story if you can only generate, because like using it as a tool for questions or whatever, it's a better, efficient, more tool than Google, because Google, I can't get specific with like, hey, I'm trying to do this on my computer, it's messing up. You'd have to ask a generic question, and so it is useful as a Googling tool, but like generating scene after scene after scene after scene, like there should be limits to how much you can generate in terms of like
original, like you can have it answer questions, but like limit the amount of original content that it can generate, and be like, you know, it can only generate so many images, it can only generate so many words per like, you know, it can only create things that are so big, and then you just, I'm sure they'd find ways to get around that, even that, but I feel like that would be more a helpful in deterring things than what they're currently doing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know either. Not an easy answer. We're just in a new era, and it's just kind of dealing with, you know, I wonder if they felt this way about like the printing press when it came out, or, you know, any number of things that came out along the way.
Yeah, I'm sure that when the internet came out, they're like, oh, well, you know, well, what about encyclopedias? What about, you know, library? So it's like, you know, I'm sure.
Yeah, and looking back on that in hindsight, nobody researches in the library anymore. Like, it actually did kind of kill that off. Like, just go to the library, get an encyclopedia, and actually like handwrite your research. Yeah, there.
Unless you're my dad who still has an encyclopedia. You know, unless you're my dad who had like a set of encyclopedias. You know,
I had a bunch of those.
I think it was like a set that he had bought with his own money, so it had like a sentimental kind of value to it too. But I'm just like, unless you're my dad, who kept a set of encyclopedias in a bookshelf in his office, you know.
That's funny. I love that.
Okay, speaking of controversies coming from like companies and stuff, so Amazon has decided to end support for 8 Kindle models coming next month. And this was announced earlier in April. That I guess they're saying it's support for Kindle e-readers and Fire tablets from before 2023. No, 2013. So devices won't be accessible to the store starting May 20th, so you won't have access to the store. While you'll still access the books already on the device, you won't be able to borrow, buy, or download new ones on those devices. And it's, so it says all Kindle devices released before 2013, and then Kindle e-readers and Kindle Fire tablets from 2012 or before.
Why? Like,
It
I
said
don't.
these models have been supported for at least 14 years, some as long as 18 years, but technology has come a long way in the time, and these devices will no longer be supported moving forward. We are notifying those still actively using them and offering promotions to help with the transition to the newer devices. Promotions. Probably 15%
In other
off.
words, you have to buy a new device if you want to keep reading Kindle books.
Hmm. And so I've seen, like, of the people that I've seen react to this, a lot of them have went to the um, Kobo devices. I think that's with Barnes and Noble, if I'm not mistaken. No, Kobo is its own thing. They're like Kobo e-readers. I've seen a lot of people transition to Kobo e-readers, and I'm like, they look nice.
Right.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's annoying. Um,
Oh, probably because I just got a new one for Christmas.
says,
But
okay, get
but it's
this.
like forcing
you
people.
know
Yeah.
how you know how I jokingly said 15% off. Is their promotional
Yeah.
thing? It says Amazon will email users of older Kindles to inform them of the support of their devices is ending. The company will also give affected users 20% off select new Kindle devices and $20 ebook credit that will automatically be added to their account after buying the new Kindle. I
You
literally
know how much
said 50%.
20% is?
Oh my god.
Like, barely.
Like, so for people, if you kind of do the math, like 120, like 100, like a $200 Kindle, 10% is going to be like $20.
Yeah, let me do for $200 real quick.
So 10%, yeah.
So it'd be
So
$160 is how much you're still gonna have to pay because of this. Not including the transition. How do you get all your books? Like, I had to
yeah.
it was
You'd
I
have
don't
to
remember how I did
individually,
it.
like, you can link your account, so like getting access to your old ebook shouldn't be a problem, but it's like the concept of having to re-download everything, or if like you're in the middle of reading one, like having to re-download all the ones that you want or whatever.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have been switching to Kobo because there's no ads. You don't have to pay extra to get ads disabled on the front. So like um or like cuz I know mine, like I went ahead and caved and paid the money to get the ads showing up at on the front page. Yeah. So like yeah. So like
And
I
so
know my black
like
and my black and white Kindle's in the other room, but like there's like try reading this book, and it'll show some like random book, and it's like, it's just
I've had some that are like really spicy and the covers
yeah.
are not good, and I want
Yeah.
to see that
And
on
there's
my
and there's
support.
people on
Nope.
yeah, and there's people on TikTok that are like, well, you can go into the support and say that that the ads or like the book recommendations that it's showing aren't appropriate. And some people say that they would offer to disable the ads for you for free instead of having to pay for it. But I'm like, being my luck, they just wouldn't. So I'm just like, you know what? It's fine.
When I talk to support, my inner Karen comes out like
Yeah.
like no other. I'm telling you, I am the worst Karen when it comes to support, and especially if you don't help me, you are going to get the maddest Joanna you've ever met in your life if you don't help me. And I contacted you for support of some. I am awful. I'm like not my best Christian.
I get really irritated, like if companies, like, instead of sending me to if I'm trying to get a hold of like a specific office, like that's in Jeff City or in like here at home or wherever, and you send me to a call center instead. When I ask specifically, like there's one like where I get my allergy testing done, like their like phone system is the worst because they will not send you to the main office. They will send you to this call center where you'll talk to somebody on the phone, and if you tell them I need to speak to this office, they're like, well, I can help you here, and they literally will not send you to the main office. And mom's like, she's like, I've had them even hang up on me at times. Like, they will full on hang up with her because she will not stop. She's like, send me to the office, and they just will like hang up on her. And I'm just like, so yeah, I don't like talking on the phone anyway, and then you have these, yeah. So I'm like,
That's our generation hates talking on the phone, by the way. I recently, my map making program, I'm calling these people out, Incarnate, has been wonderful. I've been a paying customer of theirs for the yearly subscription for years. And I
Uh-huh.
needed to resize my map because my new map for Hunter and for Warrior doesn't go across the whole page. And it's like the program's fault. And so I asked them politely, and they gave me a tutorial, and then they gave me the runaround. And now he will not help me. And he's like, we have a Discord. There are lots of people in there who would help you. And I'm like, I didn't ask for another platform. I contacted support to be helped by support. This is your program. I've been a paying customer for years. You help me. Don't send me to other customers to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my current affiliation with the map making program.
My recommendation, when in doubt, go to Reddit. Like, people at Reddit have become my best friend, not literally, but like, I literally, and it's sad that I will literally go to a platform where I just have average people telling me how to do things because professionals can't do their job.
Exactly.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, just do your job. Like, help me, please.
That's where ChatGPT becomes handy because I'm like, I've
mm-hmm.
this long. It won't help me. This is my problem. ChatGPT, help me out.
Yeah.
What you got?
Literally.
Yeah. Okay, so my story, to author kind of announcements and stuff. So Veronica Roth, the author of the Divergent trilogy, has just announced a new book, and it's called The Sixth Faction. And
it's actually a duology. It's actually a duology. Yeah, there's going to be 2 of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't a sequel. This isn't a prequel. This isn't an alternate POV. This is an alternate universe. What if she chose a different faction?
Yeah. And I'm
like, it's a different universe book.
On the there's a USA Today article that was looking at this particular announcement because I had that on there too. It was like an alternate timeline concept of what if Triss chose a different faction, and her quote, one of the quotes that she has in that article, she said, "For existing fans, I'm excited for them to see how the old and the new ones fold together," Ross told USA Today. "You'd think that certain things wouldn't happen because she makes a different faction choice, but she does find her way to the same people. Seeing how this happens is really fun part of it." And I'm like, what? What does this mean? I'm just like, is my buddy forced? I hope so. I hope so, but it's going to be so different, though. And I'm just like, it's going to be great. I know. And it's called Sixth Faction, so I'm like, is there like some unknown faction? But honestly, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Like, honestly, there's something about authors writing, like, AU, like alternate universe books about their own series that I absolutely love and I wish more authors would do. Like Stephanie Meyer did it with her with Twilight when she did the gender binge, gender binge, like I'm saying that wrong. Like my brain's malfunctioning. Where like Edward was a girl and Bella was a guy, and it's like, and she talks about how she couldn't really continue that series because the rest of the books would all be too different. Like, it would just be, it's a whole new thing. And so it's like, I love that concept of like, they own their own world. They can write and publish their own fan fictions for their own work. And I'm just like, I absolutely love that. And like, I just wish more authors, instead of giving us like a sequel or a prequel, give us like, or like an alternate POV, give us like an AU, like, full-on fanfic it and publish it. I'm just like, I love it so much.
Where I'm like, I can't do that because that breaks canon. I'm like, hold on a second, who makes the canon here?
You make the canon. Yeah, and that's where it's like,
I wanted to do a crossover, like where this people from this universe meets this universe, and I'm like, why can't I? I'm like, hold on a minute, I'm the author, I can do that. Can you imagine? Like,
so listen. Okay, listen to this other quote that I forgot that was right before there, but I misread it earlier. I didn't realize but she says, in the Sixth Faction, so in this new book, a tragedy strikes at her choosing ceremony and everything changes. The decision she makes thrusts her into an underground rebellion where she meets a boy hiding his own secrets. This boy, ? He describes only as having a number for a name. And I'm like, what?
It's gotta be 4.
Yeah, it's 4. And I'm like, but what do you mean a rebellion? Like, what do we talk? What do you mean? Like, excuse me, ma'am, Miss Roth. Like, excuse.
That meme? It's like, you know the meme where he's like, "What did she say?
What did she say?" It's like, excuse me. Like, I know you own your own. Like, okay, Miss Roth, I see what you did. I see what you're doing.
But now I kind of am.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I was like, can you imagine a gender bent hunter where it's like Avarella? No,
I need you. Okay.
Only women are. Would it be only women taken? And he.
Or it could be like literally.
Women?
It could be anything. You wouldn't have to do a gender swap.
Yeah,
like, it could be literally anything. You could have that maybe he broke out of the prison, and like, you know, I
start switching up books to, like, what if Barone was the samurai, and what if Shinji from Samurai was the dragon from Shifter? Like, I could do.
There's so many different things. Yeah, it's great.
I have multiple endings to the Valiant series, by the way, so I haven't decided how I've ended the dang thing yet.
I feel like you need to have. Huh?
I'm sorry. There are certain characters that die. Remember, 50 people go in, only 2 make it out alive in Survivor.
Oh my god, there's so many options.
What if this character? What if this couple had won? Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's great. Sorry, we're having a little fangirl moment, you know.
Book. When I rewrote that book because of my freaking editor, I almost changed the ending of the story, and that would have changed the entire Valiant series, like, because the couple who won has a future arc with this. Like, I almost changed the whole thing because of this new. Okay, I'm never over it. Anyways.
Okay, so we talked about Amazon. Just a little side note: the Magic Treehouse books are getting its own TV adaptation.
What?
Yeah,
No way.
animated. I think it's like an animated series. It says Magic Treehouse, the beloved series of children's books, is in circulation for 3 decades. Has an animated series adaptation in the works with tech-based entertainment company Spuree, Spuree. So it says that the deal marks the first major partnership with Spuree, formerly Chiho, and bringing Osborne's storytelling vision together with the company's proprietary technology and ethical AI-enabled 3D platform to accelerate the artistic process while keeping the artist in creative control. Interesting. I'll have to look into that some more. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's talked about like an ethical AI-enabled 3D platform. So it accelerates the artistic process while keeping artists like actually having artists that are in control of the art.
Right. That's interesting.
Huh. I'd have to read in on that. That's interesting. But yeah, I was like, side note, that's a side note. And I'm like, I loved Magic Treehouse. So that's exciting. Also,
I did too.
because you were talking about Project Hail Mary is actually getting a mixed reality and virtual reality video game later this year. So, it's supposed to be it's developed in collaboration with the author, the main author, and it's actually like a new chapter in the Project Hail Mary story, and it's actually written by the main guy. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That.
I'm kind of hoping it'll be like the Vader, like the VR Vader type stories, like the games.
I finished playing that.
Oh, you didn't, did you? Oh my god, you didn't even get to the angstiest part, man. Okay, we need to get together.
I still haven't posted my reactions to that, by the way. Guys, it was the funniest thing. Me seeing Vader in VR for the first time. That was wild. That was absolutely wild.
He's so tall and gorgeous. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I saw this post on Facebook and I just wanted to talk to you about it. So
Yeah.
somebody else was like, "Can I skip CC, which is Crescent City?" And they're like, "I don't think I can read Crescent City." Frown face. I know I'm supposed to push through because it gets better, but I hate the modern feel it has compared to ACOTAR. It's so jarring. It feels wrong. I'm hoping I can get away with not reading it before the next book's in ACOTAR.
No.
And they're like, absolutely do it. Some people are like, get the graphic audio, it'll help. I had the same feeling, but the connections with ACOTAR will definitely rise to the surface.
Yeah.
I pushed through, and halfway through I couldn't put it down, so it's kind of worth, especially when the crossover comes. I literally cried when I got there because I missed my ACOTAR character, so like everybody was kind of like, it crosses over, it's worth keep reading, you know, that sort of thing. And I just like, that's kind of what we discussed before.
Honestly, Crescent City makes me wonder, like, I have made possible connections with Throne of Glass, and there's obvious, like, there's things in my head where I'm wondering, is this the same thing? Is this the same people? Like, and I haven't really ever, like, Reddited it to see. Reddit.
Right.
Reddited it.
Reddited it. You said it right the first time.
To see if anyone else caught up on this.
Read the book.
Yeah,
but
and
you
so
said Reddited. It's like Reddit.
Reddit. It's
like edit. It's like edit. Do you say edited? Like
no,
I
Reddit.
edited the book?
Like Reddit.
Yeah.
But I Reddited it. Anyway, my brain's gonna start smoking if I think too much of this. But I'm just like, I haven't really like looked up to see if anyone else like is wondering the same thing. But there is like definite connections. So if you read ACOTAR 6 without reading Crescent City, they're more than likely going to mention something, or I'm hoping they will acknowledge what's happened during Crescent City, and I'm hoping that will be, I'm hoping that it ties them together, because I mean, I've read all of them and I'm excited to see where that goes. But it's like, either people will be confused about stuff, or they're going to be spoiled about book 3 in Crescent City.
Yeah.
And it's like even like when you and I've talked about this before, like, you have to go into Sarah's Massiverse knowing that each series has a different subgenre of fantasy. Like, Throne of Glass feels epic fantasy. ACOTAR is romantasy. Like, without the Rhys and Feyre romance, you don't have much going on. Like, there's the cauldron and that's it. You know, there's the cauldron and the war, but other than that, like, a huge chunk of that series is gutted because it's, you know. So, like, I feel like it's more romantasy, fantasy with a romance subgenre, right? And so it's because, like, there's never a in any of those books, there's never really a sad ending. It always kind of ends on a somewhat positive note, so that's what makes me think romance to an extent.
Spoiler alerts for Throne of Glass, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. But
you should have probably by now. But all the couples ended up together. Like, Dorian and Manon did not. Mm-hmm. But, like, all the couples ended up together, and none of the main characters died. So even Throne of Glass has that happy ending. I was expecting and wanting a main character to die, other than Manon's 13.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have a main character death. And so for me, I'm almost not, like, it was a really good finale, but it was too happy. And it was, everybody ended up happy. Everybody ended up surviving. Like, you know, that's the only thing. So like, she still has that. Or
if anything, Lorcan and his girl, I forget her name. Like, even if Elide, was it Elide? Like, if anything, like, honestly, like, when they were down on the field, I was fully expecting them to die. And I would have been happy. Like, I know that's sad. I'm happy they lived. But honestly, I would have also been satisfied with their, like, they make up at the very end and they express their love to each other at the end and then they die. You know, like, I would have been happy with that. I would have been fine with that. You know,
getting that final power, because, like, Aelin could have died too. Like, I can't remember exactly how, but, like, her getting the final power,
or have Dorian, you know, like, or have Dorian step up and be like, because he was originally going to be the one to take care of the keys and stuff, for her to be, like, mentally preparing herself for this, and suddenly him come up and be like, you know what, let me, like, you
Yeah, I
have this
think one of
life,
them
let
was
me do, you know what I'm
sacrificing
saying?
themselves
Yeah, or
for that
something.
bit is what kind of,
Because
I like that bit. Somebody should have died,
I
whether
just wanted, yeah,
Aelin or Doran, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, I just wanted more of that, because, like, I was so gutted, I was so emotional with the 13 and the sacrifice of the 13, and I'm like, even with all of that, I'm like, it still felt like it was missing some kind of emotional, gut-wrenching, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me.
yeah, I totally agree.
So but I think that, like, it's not going to be like, obviously people can't read Crescent City. Some people are just going to read the new ACOTAR anyway, regardless if they've ever read Crescent City or not. People are just going to do it anyway. But it's like, I don't want to see people mad or irritated or saying that they're confused about the story because they chose not to read Crescent City. Because
Like,
literally,
yeah.
like, I don't know how much detail to put here. There are distinct, direct ties to Crescent City and ACOTAR. Distinct. Yeah. And I don't want to give more detail than that, because I know you're still on the fence about reading the series or not.
I know I'm going to. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah. Out. So it's just like, there's probably a 75% chance that what happened in Crescent City 3 is going to be mentioned in the new ACOTAR 6th. Something. Whether it's just a comment to a particular character, where it's actually one of, like, the main subplots of the story, or whatever. Like, I don't know how detailed it's going to be of a connection, but there is that possibility. And so, if anything, just reading the Cliff Notes for the books. Worst case scenario for those, like, people that really can't get into it,
don't want to read it, and you don't care about spoiling it, and you have no intentions, then at least read a detailed summary, because that exists. I did that for a movie once. It was a horror movie, and I was curious how the storyline went, so I read somebody's detailed review, and they outlined the whole book, and then I didn't have to, or not book, but they outlined the movie, and then I didn't have to watch it. It was one of the ones where the ape goes crazy, but
yeah.
So my next one that goes along with that, which is perfect real quick, is somebody had a thought, just a thought, what if the new ACOTAR book is Lucien's POV? Because, like, the thought that, well, like, I remember her talking about how she was surprised by the POV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm like, what if, and I'm like, that could be a possibility, you know?
I think that she had full intent, like, just based on the direction she took, and she talked with Faye, had Feyre's books, and then she swapped and focused on Nesta, and did a Nesta POV. I could see her doing a, like, each sister gets a book with a POV. You know what I'm saying? Each of the sisters get their own book with a POV. And then I could see that being what she expected to do. And then when she actually started writing it, and a different POV pops up other than Elaine, like, I can see that, like, shocking her.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Also, like, I've seen only one post about Azriel and Elaine. I get I need to chill, because, like, this is literally just a book, but I get physically upset to the point that I get nauseous, and I'm just like, I need to relax, because, like, I need her to make Elaine interesting if I'm going to enjoy the second half of this series, if it focuses on her. And some people are like, aren't you bored with reading a fated mate story? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I will never be bored with fated mates, okay? Leave me and my fated mate novels alone.
I'm bored with strong female sassy women.
Yeah.
And I need somebody to right back and chill. So that's what I'm looking forward to about Elaine. Is like, more sassy.
And I just need her to not be boring. I need her not to, like, for me, it's not so much boring. If she's going to act like a baby and whine and cry and mope, then I can't do it. She can't. If she is mopey, I am going to really, really struggle to get through these books.
What's going to be hilarious, though, is if it reverses what happened with Court of Silver Flames and Us, where I like it and read it, and I have to encourage you to stick with it, whereas, like, the other
hilarious. That's probably what's going to happen. Like I'm fully expecting that to be what actually happens here, because okay. I won't DNF. It's gonna take a lot. It would take a lot for me to completely DNF a book. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like because I've never DNF'd a book up until this point. Like I've always finished a book that I've read, and I've never really truly like physically hated a book that I've read to the point where I didn't want to finish it. Like that's just because I don't know if it's because I read because I love to read. And when you have that kind of perspective, it's really hard to read a book that you like, physically hate. Because like I always find something interesting about it. Like or I'll set it off to the side and I'll put like on hold. Like I always have books on hold, like Astronaut Scott Kelly has a novel that I've tried to read several times and I just lose interest, and I know that I want to go back and read it because I love him and like his whole story, but yeah. I just put it on my shelf. I'm like, when I'm in the mood for a biography based book about an astronaut in space, then I'm like, I'll come back to that. I know I will eventually. And so I'm just like, so it would take a lot for me to not be able to finish, but I'm just like, I
totally get that.
She better have somebody else in mind for Lucian if she ends up pairing Aelin with Azriel. Or she better fix their relationship for them to have a brother-sister relationship and get really close in a way that's not romantic. Because the crap that she's put Lucian through is ridiculous. Like they better have some type of closer knit relationship if she doesn't want them to be romantically involved.
I feel like going into it, for me, expecting her, like Elaine, to go into it like being with Lucian or Azriel makes it predictable, because it's only going to be her with either Azriel or Lucian, and that's predictable for me. So I need something unexpected,
like Aerys, like Aerys, like the
Aerys maybe, or Tamlin redemption. I'm full on board with the Tamlin redemption, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm not mad if it's not.
Yeah,
because I've set, it's like you with Onyx Storm. I have set my expectations a little too high. I think.
Well, and I think it's something to acknowledge too. That's like, because like even in like real world, like there's always those people that don't end up redeeming themselves, and that their personality is just a nasty personality, and they've been given time after time of redemption and they just don't. So it's like I could see her maybe doing that, but I'm also I'm in the boat that you're in. I would like to see him kind of redeem himself, whether it's like a sacrifice moment where he sacrifices his life for them or something. Like, I want some type of redemption. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be a romance for me. I just want him to I want something to happen that kind of makes up for his actions. But I feel like I honestly have empathy for him because like we've talked about this a lot, that he had trauma of his own that he didn't know how to handle, and he wasn't handling it in a healthy way. So it's like, and then
Under the Mountain,
and then Feyre, and like he wasn't handling, like in book 2 he wasn't handling things correctly, and that ended up causing trauma for Feyre, and then she turns around and completely destroys his entire way of life, and it's like that didn't solve the problem either. That just made him bitter and depressed, and just like, made him worse. So that way when they get together, he's just bitter and angry, and he's been simmering in that bitter anger and depression alone.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he's going to make, like, I'm not excusing the comments that he makes, because the comments he makes in front of everyone is ridiculous, and it's absurd, and it's not right. But it's like, at the same time, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, it doesn't.
And just comments, like, there are characters that do so much worse things that people love. You got the dark romance girlies where the guy kidnaps the girl and does all kinds of crazy things to her, and they still love those men. Yeah. So to me, it's like, get over yourself. Like, if you hate Tamlin so bad that you can't, like, that you're mad and ranting and like upset if she writes something, then like some of those people that like rant about him online, or call him some names that I won't repeat here, like, get over yourself. There are worse acts, there are worse characters. Like, we still wanted an Anakin redemption, and he killed kids. So how is that worse?
What I'm saying? Like he killed an entire, like, essentially committed genocide. Like, and killed an entire group of people twice, mind you. He killed the Sand People and all of the Jedi. So he's like, you know, but twice, not
And
once, but twice.
And Anakin still got redeemed. So
It reminds me of that.
Okay.
It reminds me of that meme where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time this has happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? It's a quote from Phineas and Ferb, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yes.
I love it.
I've heard it before. That is hilarious. I love that.
Okay, so, do you want author news? Do you want a book news? Okay. New edition news or new book news? Which first?
It doesn't matter. You pick.
Okay. So Alchemist is coming up with a 3-volume edition where it's splitting the book into 3 volumes based on like part 1, part 2, and part 3. And so there's so many features that are coming out with it. I had to give you like a list of all the features. So there's illustrated slipcase with brand new art, 3 unjacketed hardcovers with foil stamps, metallic silver edging, bookmark ribbons, a full color illustration and page maps, one of the country and one of the city itself, and then 24 black and white interior illustrations by an alchemist artist named Avondale. And I'm just like, oh my god, there's so much, and I love it, and I'm so excited.
They're doing all the bells and whistles.
Oh
like,
yeah,
dang.
it's also without the sale, it's also $100. So
that's funny.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna be great. But I need to find if it's still on sale or not. That's what I need to know. 3-volume, okay.
Like, if I had all the money in the world.
Yeah. It is currently on Penguin Random House. It's currently $99, and I'm just like, oh wow.
Oh wow. I mean, those costs. I can't. Mine, Hunter Special Edition is going to be $60. So, yeah. And then the shipping, because I'm shipping over from the UK, so the shipping is atrocious. Yeah. But I'm like, so it's going to have great edges, so it's so worth it.
Yeah, so Target has it on sale for $70. That's where I saw it. So Target has it 30% off at $70 pre-order, and it comes out October. It said it releases October 13th. So yeah, it looks that book. I saw thought it's like I can't even. It's just.
I'm still debating if it's worth reading. Trying to
no words. Like, part 1 is very dark. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's dark, but like, it's so interesting because, like, you start with part 1 from like her perspective, like not knowing anything, and it's confusing because her memory, her last 2 years have been wiped, so her memory has been wiped, so she knows nothing, and because she knows nothing, you know nothing. Nothing's really explained in super duper detail. And then it swaps to part 2 where it goes back 2 years to the beginning of those 2 years that she has no memory of, and it tells the story. And I'm just like, ah. And then book 3 is where like they meet, the present meets again, or the 2 years meets up with the present, and I'm just like, oh, it's so devastating.
That's one of the things that, like, it captured my attention. It's just the necromancy was too much. Like, I had issues with Carissa Broadbent's, and then I got into it like when they were in the underworld, and that was fine. But like, it was so descriptive with the dead bodies and the necromancy. It was too much. Like,
and that's
like,
where
I play Skyrim and all the time. But it's like.
And I think that's where her changing the Harry, like, that was one of the big parts that changed, like, her Harry Potter magic. Like, it went from, like, Harry Potter style magic to like alchemy, necromancy style magic. And it's like, because the bad group won, it's, the necromancy is there. It's very prominent. It's not the entire story, but like at least through a majority of
heroes
like
are like dead, and
yeah,
like their bodies are being used, so it's just like it's really a little much for even me. Like,
yeah,
I'm usually like, because it's not even like, because I'm violence and like graphic violence doesn't bother me or anything, but it's like there's something about the dead bodies and like just I don't know, it just gives me the ick when I read it. It was like, okay, I'm in a mindset, so it was like but I'm going to read it and I'm curious and stuff, especially since there's like a romantic subplot in there somewhere. But okay, so I found this random Instagram reel that was like, they're doing an unofficial ACOTAR musical, and they've cast Rhysand, and it was like an announcement, and I'm like, hold on, go back, like, unofficial ACOTAR musical, like, what do you mean? And the Rhysand cast guy is the same dude who played Rhysand in the fan fiction by Whimsy whatever.
Yeah.
And he is so gorgeous. I'm obsessed with this man. I'm a married woman and I cannot get enough of how he played Rhysand. He is such a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's okay with me having some crushes. It's okay. But like, he is fantastic, and he's gonna play Rhysand in the musical. And I'm like, what do you mean it's a musical? What do you mean? So I'm excited. I have no idea why, but I'm excited. So I don't know when it's coming out or anything.
That's
and
fun,
yeah.
I love that.
The Picture Full House, I think. Yeah, Whimsy Gossip is the one who did the fan fiction, and they commented on there. So like, the High Lord of the Night Court. And I'm like, that's funny that it's like an endorsement almost from them, because they did the fan fiction. If you haven't seen those series, the fan fictions are amazing. Like, I want them to do the whole movie.
Yeah. Okay, I've got two more announcements, and then I was gonna do like books to be released timeline for 2026. So of all the books that I found so far that are being released this year that I'm excited for, or that you've told me that you would be excited for too. And so, okay, so Rebecca Yaros posted, like, just randomly dropped this untitled book on Amazon. It doesn't even have a cover. It doesn't have a name. The only name, it says Untitled Empyrean, and in parentheses it says not book 4. And she just randomly dropped it on Instagram. And she's like, okay, she's like, wow. And she posted a picture of it, and it was like #1 bestseller book. It was like the #1 slot. And she's like, wow, okay, so I had this little idea about a year ago to drop a surprise for you guys, but then you not only found it as soon as my publishers put it on pre-order, but shot it straight to #1 on Amazon without a cover, title, or even a vague idea of what might be coming your way. You rendered me speechless. Surprise has been the goal, but I can't sit here silently and not tell you how thankful I am for you, how utterly overwhelmed I am by the continuous love this community gives. Please know that I never take your enthusiasm and dedication for granted. I know how rare this air is. You are a constant source of joy, and not just for my life, but each other's, and gratitude doesn't begin to describe how I feel about this community. So thank you. This one's for you guys. I hope you love it as much as I loved writing it. And in parentheses, she said, and no, it doesn't alter Book 4's timeline in the least. So I'm not sure if that means like writing timeline or like lore timeline within the book. And then she put another parenthesis. She said, edit to add, this is not the upcoming graphic novel. So it's not the graphic novel, and it's also not book 4. So it's a random book that's being inserted into this series. And okay. And then I had to go looking. So, like, I had to go, and apparently I think on Instagram I saw a picture from Amazon that has it listed as September 29th. Let me see if I can find Untitled Empyrean, not book 4 by Rebecca Yaros, and you can pre-order it, and it says hardcover September 29th, 2026. So it's literally coming out in September.
Can I just say though, as an indie, first of all, as a fan, I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm so excited.
Yeah.
As an indie author, she had no title, no book cover, no information about the book, and she hit the bestseller list. Do you know how many copies you have to sell to hit the bestseller list? Like, I'm so mad as an indie author. Why? I have books, I have titles, I have blurbs, I have things, and like it's never gonna happen. And like to not even like that amount of support and that amount of a fan base is like peak dream.
Yeah.
Like you didn't even do a title or a book cover, and you somehow still hit the bestseller list with a book we don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's not even out yet. Like,
and I don't, honestly, I don't even think she was expecting that kind of reaction. Like,
yeah, like to be her. Oh my gosh. I was actually trying to find it and I can't. Oh, there it is. Cover coming soon. She did I'm doing that with Warrior. I have a cover coming soon too, guys. It's really cool. It's like Fourth Wing, but with bonded animals instead, and Mulan. Little old me.
I love that.
But yeah, it's the foreign paper too. I did the exact same thing with the cover coming soon on mine.
Uh-huh.
So I did the same thing. It's not as popular.
That's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I'm just like, I need to know. Crazy. I saw somebody on TikTok, and I completely didn't think to write down or save the video at all. I think I liked it, so I probably could scroll through and find it if we really needed it. But she was saying that she thinks that, because there's been some like random side notes or comments that Tarn was the strongest except for that other guy's dragon, and so are like hints that dragons aren't as good as what everyone's making them out to be. So they thought that maybe we're going to get more backstory on the dragons, like a novel about the dragons. And I'm like, honestly, I would like that, because I feel like that's the one thing that I wish we had more about in the series. I wish she would have dived into the dragon lore more, but like she only included what the people know about the dragons, so it makes sense. Like, once again, we're getting what the character knows, but it's like, I would love a book about dragons. Like, I would actually love that. So, I don't know.
The thing is, what I'm wondering is, it doesn't alter book 4's timeline in the least. So if we're talking writing timeline, what could she have possibly done that wouldn't have taken away her writing time from book 4, when we know she was working on her contemporary, and then she recently said that she's starting book 4. So like, writing something this quick had to have been something that she's already been together, unless she's talking about it's not going to alter the actual timeline.
Okay, hear me out. What if she took the notes and like the notes that she already has about the dragon's background and their lore, and just like put it into like a story, like even if it's like an actual text, like there's someone's like so-and-so's guide to dragon kind or whatever, like it's mentioned in the books that there's this one book about dragons, and it like hints at it a few times. Like somebody even, like, I think that one girl said something like, what if it's like that's being published. Like, I could see her taking the notes that she has, because like every author has like notes about their like lore and like backstory, I assume, like somewhere. I know like Sarah J. Maas just has them in like written out like in notebooks and stuff, and just has it in her head. And like some authors I like will put like more, I know you have like a lot of different documents of like outlines and different things, and so it's like I could see her having like taking her, I don't know, I'm like you, I'm like, if it didn't alter the timeline at all, then
what could it be?
Yeah. So let me look and see if it gives any more detail about like.
It can't be another
length.
type of special edition.
I don't think so.
Because if it was just like another, I don't think so either.
It's 100. Okay, it's only 176 pages. Page length is 176 pages. So
that's short.
I think it's like a novella.
Short novella. Yeah, and maybe writing it didn't take her as long.
What if
maybe
it's
a character backstory or an alternate POV?
What if it's her parents?
Her parents? Could be.
Or it could be the dragons. Or it could be, I don't know. Or it could be
anything.
Maybe it's like anything. Yeah, because there's like nothing. So it could be like, maybe it's her dad's like notes, like his like a notebook style thing where we're getting his notes on like in his journal, like her dad's journal maybe.
Yeah, like
what if it's Wars, like or me? Or what
like
if
this,
it's,
like the Star
yes,
Wars one, where it has all the information about Star Wars, but then you have the character notes as they read it. Like,
yeah. What if, okay, hear me out. What if it's,
yeah,
what if it's her brother's journal
I was wondering about
that's
that too.
given
That thought didn't
to,
occur to me.
because, I could see, like, there being like 100 and some odd pages, little under 200 pages of like a journal, like in a journal, and we're getting Brennan's journal.
I could see that, and maybe she wrote it out because they're like some of the experts are at the top of the chapters,
Yeah,
and so
that
she
would make
just wrote
sense.
that as she went, so it
Took
wouldn't
in
take
those,
extra time.
well, she would took those excerpts and then added in the bits that she needed to add in to fill it out to make it a
That
journal.
would have taken her long either.
And there's theories about one of the siblings, because there's lore of like three siblings and one betrays them or whatever. Like, and there's like a lore about these three beings, and one's betrays them or whatever. And like there was this theory of like, or at least my thought is like there's this theory that I thought I heard that like of like possibly like Brendan maybe like betraying them or something, or like I don't know. I feel like there's more to him than what we get. And so I think her making his, like, publishing his novel and us actually getting his journal would be really interesting.
And it could set up potential storylines for book 4 before it comes out.
Exactly.
That's a thing too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, okay, that's great.
I love that. I'm curious to see what happens. Like, that's where I'm like, I imagine it's probably going to be a novella because of the page size. It doesn't have any kind of, yeah, there's literally nothing. There's no description, there's no title, there's no cover, there's nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah. It could be anything. I imagine she could use that to keep up, and that gives her something to publish while we're all waiting, so it keeps her kind of like,
yeah,
because ACOTAR
and it keeps her
on top, like not on top, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it keeps her hyped for the series too, because she's getting all the feedback from us for the thing, and
I love her enough. We put her on the bestseller list without a title or a book cover. Like, that's gonna encourage any author ever.
Yeah,
forever would love that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so one real quick, and then we can do yours too.
Okay.
I didn't mean to save it in the folder, but I'm like, it's here. So there's this pretty good looking guy on Instagram that was he does Scottish accents, I think. And he was like, what if Aiden Riorson of Tyrrendor had a Scottish accent? And he reads some of his lines from the book, and it's so good. I'm just like, and I'm like, I need you to listen to it at some point. And somebody posted a gif of Jamie from Outlander, and he's like, I'll consider it. And I'm like, oh my god.
That's funny. I love that.
Everybody loves Jamie. And it sounds so good. I'm gonna see if I can get get my thing off mute here. Where is the mute?
Do everything.
Say it's breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably not the best, but
I love that though. We'll have to watch it.
Give me more. Yeah, I'm like, give me more, please, give me more.
Give us more. More! From Kylo Ren. More!
Speaking of memes,
oh my god. My brain runs on memes. It's bad. Okay.
What? The other day, me and Michael, our whole conversation was like one back and forth, just constant meme. I'm like, what are we?
Mom and I will do that with GIFs a lot. Like, we'll send GIFs back and forth, and oh my god, it's hilarious. We'll get to laughing, and it's it's great.
Easy, funny.
Okay, so other than the book release timeline, the only other thing that I had is I was looking for just different, like, Googling for just different news, like, bookish things. So there was one article that we had mentioned, like, blogish style article that was, like, all of the news, like, the book news stuff, and it was, like, links to several different things. And one thing that stood out to me, I guess, Spotify is partnering with bookshop.org, which, for those people that don't know, bookshop.org is, like, it's a way for readers to, it's like, they work with, like, independent booksellers, so, like, small book, I can't get my brain to work. It's like, small bookstores, and so you can choose what bookstore you want to buy from, and support like bookstores. And so like so far that's $46 million have been raised for local bookstores, is what they say, like the number they have on their main thing. But it's like every purchase on the site financially supports independent bookstores. Our platforms gives independent bookstore tools to compete online, and financial support to help them maintain their presence in local communities. And so they've raised like, so you pick your bookstore, you buy books, and then they send them to you. And so you're essentially helping. So there are over 2,000 different stores that you can go work through. And so I'm thinking the bookstore that closed in our area, I'm wanting to say that I thought they had a link that they were in here somewhere too, and that they linked to this website, but I don't know if they still do. Stonecrest, support this shop. Yeah, so it looks like it's still there. So you can click support this shop, and you can buy books from them.
That would be epic, though. I don't know if would it still help them even though they closed down.
Yeah. Wow, my computer's lagging really bad. Hold on. I'm trying to close out of this tab because I think this tab. I searched MO to find Missouri, and there's like so many highlights that it's like lagging out my computer, and my mouse is like really slow. So we'll see. Hopefully. Hold on. Okay. I think we're good now. I'm going to close out of this, and I'm going to check live to make sure we're still good. Okay, cool.
Okay. I was gonna pull it up
supposedly we're still live, but like my mouse was like sliding really slowly, so I'm like, ooh, bad idea.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're still good.
Okay. We are currently, but I'm kind of watching it on my computer too.
Okay,
so
cool. Okay, so essentially Spotify is now partnering with bookshop.org. So Bookshop is a group that will support, it's like where you can shop for books online, but you can pick the bookstore, like the physical individual, like independent bookstore that you want to support. And so you can buy books, and the money goes directly and supports them. So but apparently there's a new feature where you can, they link you to they're a partnership with bookshop.org, which allows users to purchase the physical books through the Spotify app. So apparently in the app, it'll send you a link that will take you to bookshop.org, where you could actually buy the physical book. And then the cool part that I'm excited for, they're including a new feature called Page Match. So it's a first of its kind feature that lets readers seamlessly switch between printed or ebook and audio versions of the title. It says, we believe in the future of reading or listening needs to be flexible and fit more seamlessly into people's lives. Owen Smith, Spotify's global head of audiobooks. Since launch audiobooks and premium, we've seen that when books are easier to discover and enjoy, demand grows, making Spotify a real growth engine for the publishing industry and changing how people find their new read. And so essentially how it works is that you open the Spotify mobile app and you find the title you're listening to. You can tap the page match button and then use your camera to scan the page you're on in your physical book, and Spotify will find that spot in the audiobook. And then it says, if you're ready to return to print, scan again to find the right page in the text. So you can literally scan your physical page with the Spotify app, and it will find where in the audiobook you're at.
That's crazy.
I know, that's
awesome.
really cool.
I was wondering.
I'm like excited. I know, because I'm like, how would that work? I know, and I'm like, how would they? Yeah. And I'm like, how would that kind of seem? What do I mean by seamlessly? Like, there's always going to be that gap of like, not being, essentially what they're trying to solve is like my main issue. I'm like, that's the main thing I can think of. Like, how am I going to find where I left off? That's the big issue, is like you have to kind of like click and find, because Spotify's split, like audiobooks are sometimes split up by tracks, so they're not always split up by chapters. And so that was like another issue that I'm like, how is this going to work? But I love that idea. Like you scan what page you're on, and then it will find where you're at. And I'm just like, I like that. That's cool.
Like make it easier for me to start hybrid reading too, because I don't do a whole
Yes.
lot of hybrid reading, but it would give me incentive to
Now,
hybrid read.
now I
That's
just
so cool.
now I just need them to do book credit instead of per hour. Like give me one book credit per month instead of hourly listening. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like books have gotten longer and longer, that like only 15 hours isn't always reasonable for some books, especially like longer books, because if I go to Audible and look at some of the audiobooks that I have bought in the past, very few of them are like less than 15 hours, if that makes sense. Or like if you finish one audiobook that's only 7 hours and then you read another book that's a lot longer, it's going to cut you off in the middle of it. So it's like, I see that, but it's like, I don't know. I'm still kind of like grumpy, and I'm like, I'm not going to buy more credits. I'm not going to give you more money to buy more credits because you already upped my subscription service twice already. So it's like, you've already upping my subscription service. So it's like, I don't really like the idea of paying more money for more hourly listening. I just don't like it. But that's me being grumpy.
Totally
Okay.
Makes sense.
Did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
I had a random one, but I can save that for next week. So
we can do it now if you want. Like, I was just going to list over the timeline, and then I was done. So if you want to go ahead and mention it, we can talk about it.
I've been getting a lot of like indie author, like people supporting indie authors on Instagram, because it's good, because a lot of indie author reputations has really gone downhill lately because of all the stuff going on. And so she's like, why indie authors take more creative risks? And she's like, number one is no gatekeepers. Indie authors don't have to get approval from agents, editors, or publishers, so they can actually write the story they want instead of what's safe to sell.
Yeah.
We're not chasing trends. Traditional publishing usually follows what's already popular. Indie authors are often the ones starting the trends instead. No genre rules. The way they're more likely to mix genres, break tropes, or flip expectations. Fantasy plus romance plus horror plus sci-fi. Why not? You can do it. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The freedom to be weird, and I mean this in the best way possible. Weird plots, messy characters, niche ideas. Indie authors lean into it instead of toning it down. They write for their people, so instead of trying to appeal to everyone, they focus on their audience and like niche down, and that's why indie books can feel so personal.
Yeah.
Faster publishing equals more experimenting, so they don't have to wait years for approval, so they can try new ideas, see what works, and adjust as they go. They're already taking a risk anyway. When you're doing everything yourself, you're already taking a chance, so you might as well go all in creatively.
Yeah.
Like, that's why my books don't fit in any particular box. The stories feel more personal. A lot of indie authors are writing stories that mean something to them, and you can feel that when you're reading, versus traditionally published. Sometimes they're just doing it to write a book. Now sometimes they'll do stuff that means stuff too, but it's more often with indies. Less pressure to play it safe. So traditional books often have to hit certain numbers to make back big investments. Indie authors have more freedom to take risks.
Yeah.
It's about the story, not the formula. They're not boxed into what works, so they can focus on telling the story the way they want to. Every book has a reader, and some of the most unforgettable ones are indie. The Starlight Shelf is here to help you find them. So I've had a lot of, there's a couple of ones on Instagram where they're like an indie author or no spice database, where you can find no spice books and also indie author books. And you can go to their store and find books there. And kind of compile them so that it's easier to find good books in the indie author space, and it's a good way to support indie authors too.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so far this is the list of books that I have, including the new ones that we've talked about tonight. So, and I put them in order of by release date, or what was given to me. And so some of them, the couple of them ones I have listed, you might be able to give me a more exact date. You may know if I have it right or not. But okay, so the most recent one, you remember Silver Elite? Okay, let me give like a quick. Yeah. So hold on, let me do like a quick. It is. The one where we don't really ever get a picture of the cover, and they thought it might be AI at one point. But it's by Ren Darlington. Spent her whole life in hiding. She has a psychic ability and aids the rebellion. So it's like she has like a psychic ability, but she's like in hiding because they don't like them and they tend to like kill them and stuff. And she has to go into this academy undercover kind of thing, and it gave a very much like a Divergent mixed with like it was like a Divergent-y, not really Hunger Games-y, but it gave like a, for me it was like a very, felt a very like a very nostalgic read because it was giving me that kind of vibe, and I just really liked it.
Dystopian. Yeah.
And so it's the second book in that series. It's called Broken Dove, and it comes out May 12th.
Okay.
So that one's the most recent one. It comes out next month. Lying in the Deathless Dark by Carissa Broadbent comes out on August 4th.
August.
So we have May and then August. The Untitled Empyrean book says on Amazon, per Amazon, it says that it's supposed to come out September 29th. And then we have The Sixth Faction by Victoria Roth. That first book is supposed to come out October 6th of this year.
Okay.
A Court of Thorns and Roses 6 is supposed to come out October 27th, so at the end of October. The Last King of the Fairy, is that the book that you were talking about that you were excited by Cassandra Clare?
I think so.
Yeah. So that one, Clare. The website that I was looking just had the label Fall 2026. So I don't know. I assumed fall would be around somewhere around that time, but I wasn't sure if there was an actual date or not.
Book one of the Wicked Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about Kit Harington. And where? Yeah, it doesn't give me a release date. That's weird. I thought it was November 3rd.
November 3rd. Okay, so that's November 3rd, and then we have the Court of Thorns and Roses 6 is in January. January 12th. And that's in 2027. And then we have the book 2 in that series that we were just talking about, The Last Prince of Hell. It said fall 2027 is the website that I saw, but I wasn't sure if there was an actual date for that one or not.
Oh, to The Last King of Fairy?
Yeah. There was like a next book, it said The Last King of Hell.
I haven't even researched that one. Okay, let me see.
It said...
yeah, there's no cover reveal for it. She doesn't have much information on her, okay. And The Last Shadowhunter is the final... What the heck is that supposed to mean? What? The third book in that trilogy is called The Last Shadowhunter.
Ooh. So there's a third one?
No! We have lots of Shadowhunters. What does that mean?
Is it a Thanos? Is it a Thanos snap situation? Are people going to die?
Because, well, they're our main characters. We'll also be checking in with Jace, Clary, Magnus, Alec, Emma, Julian, Mark, Kieran, Christina, Jim, Tessa. Probably for the last time ever, the Wicked Powers calls the whole fate of the Shadowhunters into question and will change their world forever. So it's The Last King of Fairy, The Last Prince of Hell, and then The Last Shadowhunter.
Ooh.
What do you mean? But yeah, I can't find anything about the other one. I don't know. He's gonna kill off all the Shadowhunters, I guess.
So there's a lot of books that are coming out this year, and I'm like really excited. Like it's gonna be a good
Goodreads. It just says fall 2027 on Goodreads.
Okay. Got
For
it.
The Last Prince of Hell.
Got it. Okay. Alrighty. That's what I was like. I couldn't find dates. The website that I was looking at didn't have dates, so I figured you could help me out on that one.
Yeah.
Let me look if they have.
Also on Facebook, she has alternate cover editions, and I saw an announcement. I forgot to save it. Where you can get. She always does a gay couple, so you can get the gay couple. You can get the main guy girl couple. Or what was the third one? Um, she did some April Fool's thing. I don't. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got the in papers features the gay couple, and then some close-up views of the in paper for the Barnes and Noble edition of The Last King of Fairy, which has the main guy and the main girl. Um, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to get the Barnes and Noble edition. Um, the Books a Million is the one that has the gay couple on the in papers on the art. And then yeah, so she has different ones. So they're like gemstone editions. So the Emerald edition is from Books a Million and has the gay couple. And then the Topaz edition is blue and it's gorgeous and it's the Barnes and Noble edition. And then Target has the Amethyst edition and has kind of like I don't know, some pretty feathers and stuff. For the so it's not a couple. And then Walmart will have the Garnet edition, which has another art of the main girl, I guess. So, but yeah, there's a lot of books coming out, and I have a lot of reading to do. I'm not quite as hyped for Carissa Broadbent's because I'm a little worried that book's going to be a little bit more heavy in the spice than what she's been doing due to the snippets that she's given and the character that she's doing. But I'm still proud of myself. Right from book one, I called Septimus. I was like, he is going to be the main guy, and he wasn't the main guy for that one, but I didn't know she had intended for him to be the main guy later on, 3 books down the road. But I'm That's like, awesome. Okay, so he's been getting character energy for me since then.
Sweet.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Definitely curious about the Rebecca Yarros Mysterious Empyrean book in August. So
yeah.
Also, I'm so proud that you made this list because I was trying to find a list of like the hyped books coming out this year because I was trying to figure out when should I release Warrior because I don't want it overlapping with anything big because then everybody's going to be on the big thing and not Warrior.
Yeah.
And I could
honestly,
not find
I'm not really seeing much of anything for summertime if I'm being completely honest. Like I seen September, like August had one, September had one, and then October had several. You know, and so like I figured October through January is going to be all about ACOTAR, and it's going to be so heavy with ACOTAR. I feel like, I don't know, has there been any kind of talk of when she's releasing, Fourth Wing book 4, like the book 4 or not? I don't think she's really had much talk on that. I think she's just getting into writing it, so I don't know if we have any kind of announcement on that. But I would say summertime or early fall, you should be good for release times, yeah. I feel like.
Yeah, I was going to do the Kickstarter in August, and then the Kickstarter happens a few months before main release, so that would put the main release back in November. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm still... because I want the Kickstarter to have plenty of pre-launch time, which would mean it would be the summer, and that gives me time for Hunters to finish in July.
Yeah.
Because because I can't start Warriors until I finalize and get everything shipped out from Hunter, so that can take a couple of months.
So when was your Kickstarter gonna launch? You were thinking
August 4th was my plan 4th. For about 21 days, and then November.
Because I know second half of August into September you might have two, like if you if you did it late August, then you might have issues with like back to school stuff too. So I don't know if that would affect you know, like interaction much, but
yeah, because I've had experience in the past where it's been like it overlaps with school going back. And so you really have to time it right because people are on vacation reading, but like then summer reading is kind of different. And so I was really trying to analyze all of that.
You could do like late July, early August, like that transition into.
Yeah,
you can play with the dates. One, and then you can kind of play with the dates and figure out. Alrighty, guys. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting into just our usual offline chat, so I'm like, wait a minute, I need to wait. We're still live. So, let us know what you guys are reading or you're into. What are your theories on, like, the sixth faction? What do you guys think it's gonna like? What's gonna happen? Or like, it honestly makes me think District 13 from Hunger Games vibes, based on what I've read there. So I'm like, yeah, and I'm also interested. Yes, and that one's a big thing for me. So I'm like, I want to know what you guys think this book's gonna be about. I honestly would like love if it was her dad's journals, but I'm not going to get myself into the like pothole that I was in before, because that was the big thing. I wanted more info about her family and her dad and her past, and I didn't get that, and so I'm like, that side of my brain is like craving it to be like really wanting it to be like her brothers, like something to do with her family. But I would also love the dragon concept too, so there's so many different avenues. So let us know what you guys think on that. Sure. And then like, did you like
also anticipation books that you're anticipating? Let us know in the comments below.
Yes, definitely.
And I know Heather's got Fire Blazing at the end of this month. I'm hyped for. Ooh. And then her Aloris and Zipporah, her romance book, is going to be out.
There's another
this summer,
one.
I think.
Ooh.
So that one is going to be her romance will be so good. It sounds so good.
The Will of the Many has a book 3 that hasn't released yet, and I need to look and see if he's posted like when that's going to be released. So like the Will of the Many, which was like that Roman fantasy, Roman Empire-y vibes. I don't know because I thought I saw a name of the next book. Yeah, the next one is called The Justice of the One. It's book 3, but I don't think it has like a release date yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, I just had to check.
Another one I forgot to mention. Our pro-life anthology is coming out, I think, at the end of this month as well. Fun. It may overlap with others. Mm-hmm. So all of us have a short story where the woman is faced with a choice and she ends up choosing life. It's awesome. Me, Alan Stedt, Heather, Parker J. Cole, and then one other. Well, I can't remember her name. So yeah, it's all of us, and all the proceeds are going to go to pro-life organizations. So, and that's for all versions of the book. So whether you buy the paperback, the ebook, or whatever, like it'll all be pro-life stuff. That's awesome. I'm really excited about that one. That one ties in with my military story. So I'm very excited about that.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I was going to pull up the graphic real quick. I was looking for Alan's. Okay, here we go. Iris by H.A. Pruitt, My Daughter Samantha by Parker J. Cole, Promise to Tomorrow by Lauren Smith, that's who I was forgetting, The Life to Save by me, and then 1:30 p.m. by Alan Stedham.
Ooh,
so
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
April
20th.
April 20th.
Today. It's out today. I didn't know it was release day.
I was when you said April 20th, I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like,
where at it?
Yeah. Because like my birthday's at the end of the month, and I was expecting you to say something like 25th or whatever, and you said 20th, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
That's funny. Yeah, if you look up Choosing Life by Alan Stedham on Amazon, you can get it Kindle, hardcover, and paperback. So, and all proceeds go toward the pro-life stuff. So you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Bookshop, apparently. So I need to message him. I need to post about that. I did not know it was release day for that, so...
That's awesome.
He also has a Meet the Author interview with all of us on there, on his YouTube channel, and he's posted several trailers because Alan likes making trailers, so it'll kind of give you the gist of things.
Oh, okay, cool.
On YouTube. So
yeah,
shout out to anthology people.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what other stuff you're anticipating and what you're reading and how your TBR lists are going. Mine basically keeps growing and never gets any smaller. So.
Yeah, what was the app that, complete side note, what was that app that I told you that I scanned and did?
On my phone.
Oh, Libib. Libib. Yeah, Libib. You can create like collections, and like I just made a collection called My Bookshelf and then scanned all of my books. I am just like the stupid amount of books that I have, and I haven't even scanned all of them. There's some that are put away in my closet that I haven't even scanned.
I'm gonna do mine. Because I also have like this shelf, which is like my Cassandra Clare shelf, and then my Star Wars stuff and fairy tale collections. I've got all of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's like triple digit numbers, and I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, this is ridiculous, the amount of money that I've spent on books over the years. But to be fair, I could be addicted to drugs. My life could be so much, could be so much worse. Okay, we are done. We are doing the Midwestern goodbye, where we stand at the car window and talk for another hour. So... We will
be rolling up the window and waving.
Rolling up the window, waving, and driving away. So this is us driving away. Yep. All right. See y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.